Val and Patricia, lifelong Collingwood fans, will follow their journey in the essence of the game throughout the match. What a day at the G. The Blues and the Magpies.
Opening bounce. Down goes Hadley.
Cross the chest, let him up.
And the Blues,
hands out.
Blues are gone tall.
Give us the footy, give us the
You've got
footy,
Hampson, Favola, Waite, Cloak all up in their forward line.
Massive crowd. Judd over the football. Tries to emerge with it. Shovels it out to Stevens. Goes forward. Russell's got the run of it. Feeds it across. Now an opportunity as they work it away through Murphy. Scotland inside the centre square. Kicks inside the forward 50. Hampson in front. Hands to it. Couldn't complete the mark. Terrific by Heath Shaw. Came hard. Wellingham around the outer side wing. Pendlebury decides to settle. Behind him a sea of faces.
What a season he's having, Pendlebury. That kick just missed Wellingham and Thornton able to belt it out. So Wiggins out, Brown in for Carlton, Medhurst out, Tuvey in for the Pies.
Yeah, not the traditional lineup for the Pies in their forward line. John Anthony will have to do the majority of the work.
Push him out of the contest, Bandage.
So Cameron Wood in his first game at this level this season, giving the free kick away. Hampson. Brown went to ground. Let's go down and say good afternoon to you, Ricky.
Good afternoon, Bruce. So what I was going to mention before the game was Wiggins is out of the side with a tight hamstring and tight back. Also, Paul Medhurst, he was selected in the side, but his ankle injury was tested this morning, didn't come up. There's also a question mark over Dane Swan. He injured his knee last week, but he passed his test and he's out there.
It was Swan who socked the ball out of the congestion, taken by Gibbs, who kicks it inside the forward 50. And White.
Wow.
Takes a terrific sprawling mark.
You won't realise how good this mark is till you see it for a second time. Watch this. That is outstanding. Oh, that is so. Full body pressure from a very good defender in Nick Maxwell, and to be able to keep control and also keep the ball from hitting the ground. That was fantastic, Mark.
Nothing more Maxwell could have done about that.
No.
As I said when they came onto the ground, he was in terrific form against the Saints, Maxwell. Not a good start for him. Wait, 3-1 from set shots, make that 4-1 this season.
Well, Brett Ratton's got a real luxury on his hands with Jarrad Waite. We know that he's a very, very classy defender. He can give run-off half-back. But you put him forward and he can do this sort of stuff, and all of a sudden, as a defensive unit in Collingwood, they're going, oh no, we've got this bloke down here who we thought may have started down back. He's going to be a real handful. They've also got to look after Fev. Hampson started pretty well coming at the footy. They've got Cloak down there. They might be one tall short.
Well, Brett Ratton told us he'd play him forward today, didn't he, in the rooms. He's kicked 3 goals twice this year. He's actually kicked more goals this season right now than he did for the whole of last year. He's a weapon, Waite. So the Blues get the first. Cruiser wins the tap. Gibbs gets the football and then goes with a wobbly old floater that beat the lot. Now Maxwell was shooing Brown onto it, and then Brown said, you take it, skipper. Maxwell back to Wellingham. It was very good last Monday night, and a team that got hammered, obviously. And a boundary throw in.
Well, Wellingham, he's going to go and pick up Bryce Gibbs this afternoon. That's his job. And there's Aaron Joseph picking up O'Brien, who they believe is their prime mover.
Tossed in, Cruiser directs it down in front. Swan runs out from beneath that cloud. People said he wouldn't play. He's out there, a couple of possessions already. Corrie. And now Clark in the opposite back pocket. Takes something off this kick to no man's land. Cruiser came hard. Bad luck for him. Couldn't control it. Wellingham combines there with Tuvey. Now Clark comes back to Wellingham. That wasn't a good hand pass. Tuvey went down. Clark's got it. Terrible kick. Spilt there by Robinson. Robinson will get a free kick. Belatedly, a man clattered over the top of him.
Wellingham just gave away the free kick. There, got him right in the scone.
So Stevens, good kick.
Touched.
Murphy wearing the thumb guard today. Judd. Ox. Collingwood have looked almost nervous coming out of the back, haven't they? She's play on there.
Wow.
Judd away and then gets inside the 50. Kicks to a hot spot at full forward. Maxwell flew. A little give was good. Collingwood have worked it okay. Cook involved. Pendlebury. stood motionless and no one went to him.
Good Shepherd.
He can find time and space. Oh, Shaw's going to have to go. Gone. You could see it coming.
Well done.
Just no talk. He had players around him and he had no awareness that there was a player. There was a really good shepherd there by Corrie. He's taken off here. He's in second gear. And that's the value that Jared Waite will give you as a forward, because he knows as a defender, you're a little bit scary coming out of defence when you've got a lot of numbers in the area surrounding you.
He might keep Fev sharp too up there. He keeps getting bags of goals. What a start.
Well, Nick Maxwell, he's had a couple kicked on him. That one there you can't do anything about because you've got your hands on the footy, but it's a terrific chase. Collingwood just haven't got the confidence to kick the ball within that 50-metre arc and clear the danger zone. They need to be able to get it onto their boot a lot quicker. And at the moment, just really good pressure by Carlton's forwards, not allowing Collingwood to get rid of that footy.
Eddie Betts started on the bench. He's now on the ground. I caught up with Eddie during the week. We did a goal-kicking masterclass. We talked about his after-the-goal celebration. We've come up with a new one, so watch out today when he kicks a goal.
There's the bounce. Wood knocks it down. Gibbs goes after it. Judd out of the middle. He started very well. Spirals one inside the forward 50. Robinson hit him in the face. Betts just on the ground. Half a chance to get that celebration going. Maxwell did well. They feed it out of there. Wood gave it across to Cox, who sends it towards the outer side wing. Reed's kick carries a couple of players down there. Anthony leads back in the race. And it's going to be a free kick, and it's going Collingwood's way.
John.
Good pace there by Jamieson. I like the matchup. Carlton, this will be the first time they'll allow Collingwood to go into their attacking 50. A lot of numbers back. There's probably 30-odd players inside Collingwood's attacking 50.
Anthony very deep to the pocket. Brown was up. Judd arrived quickly. Need to watch him. He gets it back from Gibbs. He's running free at the moment, causing concern. Any one of three to choose from. Stevens gets it from Thornton. Runs it up towards left half back. Kicks towards the wing. Waite, 2 goals already to his credit. Slipping slightly, Brown. He's got a problem. Waite applies more pressure. Clark a little chip to midfield. Cook's got it.
So Collingwood maybe to build here. Good kick coming from Maxwell.
2 metres, Brendan.
They're getting their numbers back really quickly to Carlton. He can't make the distance from there.
So Swan, what does he do? Well, he goes with a little pokey one. Judd did enough. Favola, well done Swan though. Gets it back. Thornton. Just missing a lot of targets, Collingwood early. Bauer. Stevens busy like Judd and Gibbs and Murphy. And if they keep getting their hands on the ball, then that's not going to be good for Collingwood.
No, it's not. Collingwood have had 30 possessions. 18 of them have been in their defensive 50.
Gee, Waite did that well. Oxy played it like a defender. Builded the ball 15 metres towards Carlton's goal.
It's good stage of the match already. Carlton really pressuring Collingwood. Collingwood just got to really hang in there for the first 15 minutes, wait for the pace to go out of the game, and then start finding the footy in the centre.
They work the ball after that boundary throw in. Murphy, who initiated it, finishes up with it. Comes across the ground to Brown. Judd is on it, right half forward. Sprinting hard is Simpson. He can just lob the ball in front of him. Goes beyond that. Betts is the target, and Betts takes the mark.
Oh, that is so good. So good in so many aspects. You may not get to see Chris Judd's work rate through the centre of the ground. Turvey was just out of position and outclassed in that contest, but it was Chris Judd. He was on the back. He was in the back pocket. He ran into the centre, and then he shot out. It takes enormous courage to be able to run like that.
Now we have to watch for this special celebration. I presume it's coming up after this kick, provided he kicks a goal.
All right.
Cut the air with a knife, and he comes and puts it through.
Oh, he's over the top.
Oh, what a letdown.
Yeah, he went off then. We got it. Don't know what we're waiting for, but no, it was a wonderful piece of play. But actually, that's the least I think I've ever seen Eddie Betts celebrate.
Not sure what sort of motivator Ricky is.
Yeah. Well, he did kick the goal. I suppose that's good news. But then he went camera shy.
Huge crowd. Beautiful, almost winter's day, isn't it, in Melbourne? Have a look at that scene. There's nothing like it, is there?
Collingwood are under enormous pressure here. They want to get this clearance. They want to start linking up and finding a teammate.
Well, they found scoring very difficult against the Saints the other night. They've got to get that board ticking over. Judd, outstanding. He made his debut with the umpire down at the moment on the ground and in a bit of trouble. He made his debut on this ground against Collingwood for West Coast back in 02. Little one by Clark, who's had a bit of it early. He's missed a couple of targets, Clark, early, but he's working hard.
Umpire Grunn's on his feet, but he's hobbling. Swan over his shoulder, holding the man and or holding the ball, neither apparently. Side bottom, just chips it forward. Brown clatters into a pack, hand passes forward. Over the ball, pushed in the back with side bottom. He'll get the free kick at left half forward.
Back around. Give it back, Aaron. Aaron, now.
The umpires this afternoon, James, Grun and Ryan.
Mine.
Davis deep to the pocket again. You wonder about the wisdom of that. Defenders can just get it out of bounds so easily.
Oh. Well avoided there. I don't think there was any contact. It was good.
Sort of. Probably hear more about that though. Here's Russell. Got it from Bauer. Goes towards the outer side. Shaw leads in the race. Robinson closing. Robinson did okay. Well trapped though by Cox. Spills back to Tuvey. Goes out wide to Shaw. Shaw a little chip down towards the attacking 50. Lockyer takes the mark 55 metres out.
It's a good grab. Goes in short. Gets Anthony.
That was the first touch for both of them. Good lead. Much better lead. If there's one criticism of Anthony, I reckon sometimes he leads a bit early. Just needs to really get his timing right so that when he is marking the ball, he's marking it well inside the 50. He waited, and that's just a nice kick out in front. No defender in the competition can stop that kick.
14-4 from set shots. First time Anthony's played against the Blues. He's never played a game without kicking a goal.
Oh.
And that one, he never gave it a chance. It was always too close to him to the near side. So Collingwood, best passage of play probably for them, resulting in a behind.
Got a huddle here, Carlton, in the centre of the ground. And they'll fan out.
Throw back to Wolsey.
It's very, very rare that we see that.
Bit of retro, eh? So here goes Gibbs now.
Drives it outside the defensive 50. Reaching over the top. Wood got a fist to it. Reed left without it. Cook falling to the ground. Wood, not a particularly good hand pass. Russell goes down under a strong tackle, holding the ball.
Good tackle because he actually gave a poor handball away and he butted up.
So he's 60 metres from goal. Just sets it up, hoping perhaps for an Anthony mark down there. Well, almost. Fell behind Thornton. Stevens. Now Bauer drives it towards the outer side. Late from Fev. Up the ground. Little chip comes across to Gibbs. Gibbs at centre half back. Goes towards half forward. Judd isolated with Prestigiacomo. A jumping Judd. Haven't seen that too often. Goes down towards the pocket. Austin.
Set play here by the Blues. They're getting all their players up the ground. They're making sure that they win the ball on half forward, which they are at the moment. Fev's already had the 3 touches. Juddy on that occasion got it at a half forward once more, and they run into open space. It's old-fashioned, but it's clever.
Going at the first goal of his career then. Kicks and kicks truly.
Well, there's huge problems here for Collingwood at the moment. Huge problems because I reckon they've got a couple of their matchups wrong. I believe that Collingwood didn't expect Carlton to set up the way they have. They went very tall inside their forward line. They've also allowed Brendan Favola to go up, which I think many would have thought that he would have been in the goal square and he would have been the go-to man. But They've got a lot of flexibility, and their tools at the moment are starting to cause a few problems for the Collingwood defenders.
Well, Mark Austin gets his first goal. Played against the Dockers last week. Third season at the Blues. Just his 7th game. Judd outstanding here. And Carlton have got the flying start that I think Collingwood probably needed today, with who's out and who's in. Davis, Aubrey. Let's see what the Pies are made of here. Reid, good tackle. Lockyer over the top of Armfield. It'll be an interesting duel, that one. Down to you, Rick.
We saw the umpire get smashed a few minutes ago. Stephen Grun, he's got a rolled left ankle. He's now come to the bench to get it assessed. He's pretty courageous. He wants to get back out there, so he's getting some work done at the moment. Jeff Dalglish is his replacement.
What happened to the celebration? Out of bounds.
Down the full.
He's got old Corey.
Back a metre.
White's got the ball.
That's your mark.
Judd taking a scheduled break. Nothing to be alarmed about. Unless you're Patricia and Val. Out of defence.
Gee, they've got some space here, Dan.
Gibbs has got it from Jamison. Cruiser on the move, takes the mark. That was too easy. Well done behind. Austin brought in some space towards the pocket for Bowler. Well done, Prestigiacomo. Dancing around is Cox. Got a hand pass out of there. Tuvey, little 1-2. Comes to side bottom. Side bottom. Short in defence. Gave it to Maxwell. O'Brien. Now Wellingham. He's at left half back. Wellingham looks inside. Stretching his Swan. O'Brien. Wellingham. Like this youngster. I used to. Thornton took the mark. Lays it off to White. And they'll build again around the outer side. Here's Cruiser. Will bypass the short one. Betts. In fact, it's Yarram out there who was going to turn his man. He was off. Cox did well. Stood up. Wood on the assist. Little chip out wide.
To Anthony.
Got to hold it up. You've got no forward structure at the moment because he's the go-to man.
So the little short one to Corey, but she was asking a bit of him. Back to Tuvey, back to Anthony. Wellingham.
You now.
He's too tall for Beams. Thornton and Beams. Well done, Corey. Back to Lockyer. Lockyer thinking his way through. Wellingham, little give was terrific. Anthony, Gibbs gets him, gone. Right now, it's one of those games like you see occasionally where you feel like there are more Carlton players out there than Collingwood, don't you?
Yeah.
They're in the right spots.
They are, but they're working hard, and I just don't think Collingwood have been able to find out what they're trying to do at the moment. They need to probably go to a man and just knuckle down for 5 or 10 minutes to get themselves back into the game.
Got to work for each other too. I mean, it's all very well to have youth. That's great, but the one thing inexperience brings is a lack of protection. No Shepherds out there at the moment. No work for each other. Here's Simpson. Drives it very wide. Waite's been terrific.
He's been fantastic.
Is that better than terrific? Goes in short. But the mark is taken by Simpson. Hampson wants it long. Wouldn't be bad policy at the moment. Lurking back, the spare man in defence is Davis. Spotting that, Simpson comes across the ground and finds Thornton, annually a rank outsider for the Nobel Peace Prize. Comes across towards Bauer. Bauer kicks beyond the wing. Knocked down in front by Hadley. Was held by one arm.
Too high, Matty Cruiser.
Cruiser's getting a free kick. They'll be happy with that.
Right arm went around his neck. Thank you.
Have a look at it here. Not much in it, but still there.
Uses a run of Russell, who goes deep to full forward to Favola. Maxwell very high, picks himself up.
He's winded too.
Pendlebury has been playing a bit in the back half. Cox wide for Davis. Russell with him. Davis did well. Back to Clark, and then Clark sidesteps around Austin to Cox. To O'Brien. To Pendlebury.
Big
Important
play.
ball here. Gooden. Well, Lockett, yeah, free kick.
Held him up though. That was it was smart play.
It's normally a good kick, Lockyer.
Oh.
Corey got him. Archie shoved the big fella out of the road.
What happened to can't bump push in the marking contest?
Well, that went out. Let's have a look at the replay.
That's Maxwell going
Well, this is the
hard.
first one. And it didn't put the wheels down.
Oh, gee, I am confused, Ox.
So was Cruiser.
So Corrie.
Oh, no.
So Anthony missed. Corrie misses.
Not good enough. You need to be able to kick those.
Blues have had 4 shots and kicked them all.
Simpson standing in the bright sunshine. A glorious day in Melbourne. Well weighted kick. Gee, got it in there. Scotland took the mark. They run it out of defence then. Simpson came up the ground. He got it back from Russell. He finds Waite inside the centre square. Whoops, he played on. That's holding it. Oh, gee. Falls back to Joseph. Hand passes towards half forward. Now he gets it back, Joseph. Runs to the 50. Still going, Joseph. Hadley wants it back. He was the man that gave it to him. Kick inside the forward 50. Maxwell straight to Murphy. And Murphy goes underground. Gee, that was clever.
It's not their day, Dennis, by the looks of things. Everything that's can go Carlton's way is going Carlton's way, except for the last free kick against Cruiser. But that was, he probably gave him the benefit of the doubt that he got rid of it in time. Like this young man, Aaron Joseph. Good composure, saw an option, didn't quite hit it, but oh, that's not front and square by a little rover, but it's good nous. Thinking and knowing where the ball is about to land.
Mickey Nouse.
Well, they need all the help they can get right now. Murphy gets the goal. Judd starring. Murphy's first goal ever against Collingwood. It was the only team he hadn't kicked a goal against, and he's got 11 goals this season. He's adding another string to a very, very impressive CV. There he is doing the hard stuff in the middle. I feel like we're at the Coliseum at the moment. There's a carcass out there.
Yep.
Hey, just got it. Trying to get rid of it.
Well, the possessions, though, is interesting. Carlton's had 75. Collingwood's had 78. 25 marks to Carlton, 14 to Collingwood. So 10 inside 50s to 8. There's not a lot of difference.
Just one difference, Ox. Look at the scoreboard.
Yeah.
O'Brien to O'Brien to Shaw to Maxwell. As Dennis said, he was so good in a team that lost by a big margin on Monday night. Anthony presenting up the ground from Shaw.
Problem is, though, when he leads up, there's no one back inside 50. They don't have one forward.
Anthony, very indecisive on the wing. Now he kicks inside the forward 50. Carlton players just queuing up to try and kill it. Gibbs, Armfield, Scotland, very good last week from right half back. Good kick. Robinson, oh, well done. Great courage. He gets 50.
He's in trouble here too, Robinson.
Yeah.
He's very ginger.
He's a gutsy young player. We know that from the pre-season.
Thank you.
And possibly
Clearly
shouldn't take
marked
the
it
kick.
first. Ball. Hey, hey. Chris. No need for you to get involved.
Most unusual too.
Yeah.
I think if I was Robinson, I'd just sink to my knees and not take the shot, Oxy. What do you think?
Ready. Yeah.
Who would you give it to?
Stevens standing next to him. Still, we'll see. He'll aim at the middle post. No, sometimes you can be too brave. Nothing wrong with sitting it out, Ox.
It's the Brian Lake approach, isn't it?
Well,
Tread
he
on
was
the-
clearly in trouble there.
Yep.
He's gone rigid.
Tread on the side of caution.
I'm no doctor, but I know rigid is not good.
It's not
No.
for goal kicking.
Pendlebury short to Maxwell.
Right there. Play on the 15. Play on.
Pendlebury, all his touches in the back 50. He's just trying to hold it together like a quarterback at the moment. Side bottom to Swan, who, when we got to the ground today, we didn't think he'd be playing Swan. So
Big rumour he was out, but he's come up.
He's a tough guy. He's got a long string of consecutive matches going, but not as long as Lockyer. But Carlton doing it well. Austin's got his first goal in footy. Did a good job there. Cruiser front spot. Brown at the back. Pendlebury very, very good. Heard the umpy. Davis normally very clever in this situation. Hooking the ball. Giving it a roll. Oh. That was a good effort.
And he would have thought he was a big chance to kick that. Very few would have been able to get the ball to continue on for 55 metres along the ground.
Michael Malthouse down on the boundary. Walked in with the Nanette today, his wife. Lives within walking distance of the ground. Loving inner city living at the moment. Not far to walk home either at the moment. There's Davis. She wouldn't do that. Goes in short on the lead. Lockyer takes the mark. Crowd 150.
See where that knee mark is just there?
Could be close to a 50. A nice heave ho. That was a good lead. Led straight up, led with purpose.
Leon, if you go out
Pretty hard, as we said before, for a defender to stop that. But that's just a beautiful kick. And that's payback because Lockyer gave a nice kick to his teammate minutes before.
Well, Carlton haven't got a man behind the line at the moment. They need one. Hampson going down there now. Lockyer comes in and tugs it. Often the way when you desperately need a goal. You can't get them. The pressure mounts. They've got 4 behinds. They trail by 27.
So the huddle again for the Blues. Gee, he's run a long way. Scotland, about 30 metres, I reckon. Hampson was the target.
Just got his leap wrong there. He was 1 step short.
Down to you, Rick.
As you said before, Mick Malthouse is standing next to the bench. John Anthony's just come to the bench and had a long chat to Mick Malthouse, and there's a bit of a discussion going on just about their forward structure. And actually, Mick was asking him what was going right, what was going wrong.
So Judd, that's been going right. Judd now. Betts is in an interesting position. O'Brien and Betts, a bit of pace there, some flair. Well done by Beams to O'Brien to Maxwell. Needs to be able to deliver here, Nick. Takes them on through the centre, and then on the left kicks to centre half forward. Little push from Russell on Lockyer. Well done, Simpson squeezing it out. Warden Hampson. Hampson played it well. Murphy hasn't panicked, and then hooks it and doesn't get the angle right, but he did a good job. He kicked a touch and a boundary throw in.
It's been nearly 3 years, Bruce, since Collingwood have gone goalless in a first quarter. So.
Well, they had some problems kicking goals Monday night, didn't they?
Yeah, they have. It's a different side to what we've seen in past outings.
Downfield free kick for a hold here. Harry O'Brien. Harry O'Brien.
Umpire James. I would imagine that conversation between Jack Anthony and Mick. What's going right would have been a short part of it.
Not the scoreboard.
Kicks towards 50. Oh, Robinson. Oh, here's to you, Mitch Robinson. That was fantastic. He took a whack only moments ago, and he goes back and he does that. Betts has got it. Gets it from Russell. We're down to 12 seconds. That's courage.
Oh, it is.
In his first season of footy.
Well, he laid the foundations in his first match against the Tigers, where courage is, I think, second nature to him. He's tough.
Wow. Quarter time. Well, so much to worry about there. On the other side of the ledger, Carlton have come out smoking. 5-1-31 to 4 behinds on Sunday football at the MCG. Runs to the 50. Still going, Joseph. Hadley wants it back. He was the man that gave it to him. Kick inside the forward 50. Maxwell straight to Murphy. And Murphy goes underground. Gee, that was clever.
Sure was. No Fev goal yet, but he's done his bit for the Blues, and they've done a lot. They're 31-4 weight with a couple in the first 2 of the match. Judd's been outstanding. Is Nick Maxwell, the captain of Collingwood, a short time ago, getting the message across. So a big day now for Michael Malthouse. How can he salvage something from what is a wreck at the moment? Let's go down to Ricky Ollerenshaw with a special guest, Josh Fraser.
Well, that special guest, Josh, can actually fill us in on what Mick was like in the box during that first quarter. Not a lot went right for you. What was Mick's mood like?
Look, he wasn't too bad. I think we were reasonably happy with some of our setups, but I think the key thing was they were getting their hands to the ball first, certainly around stoppages and in general play, and they're able to set up play from that. So we probably just need to be a bit cleaner going forward. We've elected to probably move the ball by hand rather than foot at times, and we've had some clear targets. So look, the margin's quite significant, but I think we can turn it around pretty quickly.
Well, you mentioned your structure. You've got a lot of injuries and to key forwards. You are getting the ball inside 50, but you just can't seem to convert.
Yeah, I think they're trying to generate a loose player in their defensive half as well, so that's made it a little bit hard. We haven't been overly smart going forward, but as I said, if we can just start getting our hands on the ball around stoppages a bit more and creating from there, we'll give ourselves a chance to get back into it.
Were you surprised by some of their setups early?
Look, I think the only one that might have been surprising was Waite going forward, but I'm sure they would have planned for that, the coaching staff. So, there was a few moves made early, but as I said, mate, I think we can start nullifying around the stoppages and get our hands on it. We'll give ourselves a chance to kick a score.
Right, appreciate your time, Josh. Get back in that box. Cheers, mate.
Rick, just a question. What happened to that celebration with Eddie Betts? Everybody was in a fever up here and suddenly nothing.
No, he did say to me it's going to be after a left foot banana from the boundary. He's promised me that.
Come on, we've got to recognise it.
And I gave him a rev up there at quarter time as well.
A left foot banana.
I'll show you how to do it during the week.
From the boundary. Who decides if it's from the boundary? Well, anyway, we'll come to that when we come to that. Thanks, Rick.
Blues starting with a loose player in defence. Jordan Russell.
Cruz has been good. Opening bound second term. Collingwood with a lot to do. Pendlebury stood up in a tackle. Wellingham. Swan lays it off. Dash comes from Shaw. Down towards half forward Anthony. He's been good, Anthony. Prepared to come up the ground. Not necessarily the best thing, but he's got to get the footy. Someone's got to send it in. Pendlebury, who got it out of the centre moments ago, kicks to the square. Cruiser. Oh, now this is a test. This is a test. Well, it's a tough game. It's a tough game to umpire, this one.
Well, it is, because he didn't really have pressure, but I guess it was the umpire said, you're a ruckman, you're a little bit clumsy, and you disguised it well.
So clumsy is good.
Clumsy's very good, then.
Like Richard is bad.
Yes.
Russell in short.
Gee, it's a big crowd in.
Gibbs.
Free kick.
Stevens.
The run-off half back then by Shaw, where he was able to pinpoint Anthony, that's what Collingwood expect of Heath Shaw, to take a risk and go at the right time.
Normally a beautiful kick, Stevens. He wanted to wait. Well done, Anthony, again getting across in front. He's a versatile player, Anthony. We thought he was a defender when he started, didn't we?
Well, he's brave. He's willing to put his body on the line. He just got to. He can't be doing silly stuff which got him suspended.
Waite's been terrific. So Betts, Simpson, Judd on the left. Good kick. Waite probably should have taken it. Presty's got it to Cox, and then Cox with a high ball up towards half forward. Plenty of Blues.
Thornton, one of them.
Free kick to 40. Great. 40. Jamieson, your free kick for a hold dragged in. Let's bring it back. Your free kick.
Wasn't sure if you knew
It's a free kick.
who number 40 was there for a moment, the umpire.
Michael Jamieson. So he knows he's on the outer. Probably hasn't got any Brownlow votes from umpire James now. He might go back into his shell. There's Waite.
Play on.
He's playing where he likes today. I reckon Brett Ratton has said, Jared Waite, you play where you want, but in the right spot.
What a dilemma there for Lockyer, caught between two, and they work him over. He went to Armfield after the kick came from Bauer, and that released Simpson, who goes short to Robinson.
He looks good, this boy. He knows when to lead. He's sharp, takes a hit, he's brave, and he's enthusiastic. Apparently around the club he's very well liked because he's, he makes things happen.
He kicks it down towards full forward. Cruiser!
Well, he got caught napping there. His direct opponent in Wood. He was caught back, and Nick Maxwell looks straight back at him and says, you're his opponent, get over there and at least make a contest. Really disappointing by the big man not to follow him up.
This kid is a terrific young talent. Rucking at the moment. You wonder where he'll finish his career. And he comes and kicks beautifully. Just get the feeling he'd make a wonderful centre half forward.
Yeah, he's an interesting one, Cruiser, whether he's not a traditional ruckman, is he? He's a little bit shorter than that, but he's got a good leap. He reads the play really well. He's a wonderful kick at goal. Kicks through the footy. And Collingwood are really now under the pump. They need to find the spark, and they need to find it quickly, because this game can blow out. Could be embarrassing.
So the Blues away 37-5. Too early to say they've got their hands on the Peter McCallum Cup, but boy, Collingwood with some work to do. The two clubs playing for the Cup, which raises money for the Cancer Institute. Collingwood just goalless here. They kicked 5 in 4 quarters last Monday night, so it's been a drought for them. Josh was telling us Ox that the last time they were goalless in the opening term against Carlton was 1981. Collingwood actually got up and won.
Wow.
He's the eternal optimist. Thornton.
Oh, well done, Sidebottom.
Well said.
He certainly did a great job. He was outnumbered 1-2 and then 1-4.
And his third effort too. Well done.
Terrific. On to Jard. Gee, that is a good win for Collingwood. I know it's out of bounds, but still Sidebottom.
Well, they've got to get over to him.
Steely resolve.
Well, they've got to get over to him and say well done. Not one person gave him a pat on the bum.
Thank you. Just falling to ground, Chris. No, the ball was long gone. Thank you.
Pendlebury with the free kick on the outer side. He's about 55 metres from home. Reid comes on a lead. Pendlebury, though, goes back.
Oh, please, Brendan. Come out.
Favola on the logo almost on the outer side. He's come up a long way. Is there such a car as a Toyota Favola? Who knows? He kicks it down towards half forward. Fev was energetic anyway, like being on the logo. The ball deep into attack now, going back Cruiser. So at both ends of the ground, he's doing wonderfully well. A goal, and he won that centre bounce after the goal classically, and that time went back in defence, but not the first time tonight or this afternoon, and knocked it across the line.
And then gets another tap here. Brown on the ground, came in for Wiggins.
Gee, there's a lot of numbers in there.
Thanks,
About
guys.
28 players around that ball.
And that was shown with Pendlebury a moment ago, wasn't it, when he had to go backwards.
And what Collingwood need to do here is just take some numbers out, set up a wall, which will drag your direct opponent out.
Cruiser getting over Reid again. Pendlebury, well done. Swan. And the behind. Down to you, Rick.
What's been interesting to watch today is Brendan Favola. He's actually sitting at the half-back flank at the moment. He's not playing out traditional goal scorer like he normally does. He has been criticised during the week for his body language and his work rate, particularly last week's game when he's just go for the mark now.
Goal.
He had that glute problem he hurt in the first 30 seconds of last week's game. Really struggled with that last week, but today his work rate's first class.
Well, coming up for his 4th possession, hasn't had one inside the forward 50, Ox.
No, it was a really good mark though. Strong lead, strong set of hands.
It's just what Collingwood need if he gets going on the forward line. Oh, well done, Wellingham. Head down, still going, went to ground. Spills out of the congestion. It was Brown who got a hand pass across towards Swan. Stolen away though by Brown. Brown of Carlton goes down towards half forward. Maxwell comes across on the angle, takes the mark, and the skipper decides to run it out. Now he kicks. Not a good kick. Bounces obligingly for Shaw. Too nimble for Hampson. Nice one into the path of O'Brien. Again they come wide. O'Brien right on the boundary line. Lockyer got a half volley. Armfield wants to tie it up and he succeeds.
Every time Collingwood try and transfer where they come and switch across the ground, Carlton have a one-on-one situation. They're happy with that. They're making sure that they don't switch it to a loose, and they've been able to nullify Carlton coming across the ground. Just no energy in Collingwood at the moment. There's no, there's no get up. The only thing we've seen is Nick Maxwell and the hit on Robinson. That is it.
Here's Wood. Big opportunity for Wood with Fraser injured. He's been given the nod. Hasn't played a game in the AFL until today this season. Brisbane let him go a couple of seasons back, and still yet really to make his mark.
Pick 14 was given up along the way.
There's a big talking point the Collingwood ruck set up this year, isn't it, as to how they go about it. Good tackle by Betts on Cook. Brett Ratner loved this for Vola, and Betts doing some good hard stuff up the ground.
That's energy. That's, you know, that's a player getting in there and making a statement. I'd like to see someone from Collingwood just make any sort of statement.
Here's Harry, stopping and propping back to Cook.
After he kicked that, I think Cook made a statement. He wasn't happy with that kick. It wanders down towards half forward. Brown gets it from Thornton. How did he get rid of that one?
Go to the end zone. Go to the end zone, Jeff.
It'll be tossed in. Strong tackle by Pendlebury. Collingwood a bit stiff there watching the replay. In front, Hampson with a good leap. Down to Judd, who missed the football.
Holding the ball. Advantage, advantage.
Wellingham has stopped. Now he goes again. It'll come back.
Bring it back.
Umpire Ryan calling advantage, but Wellingham hesitating. Saw Judd didn't make contact with the footy. O'Bree's got it now then. And the first inclination invariably at the moment is to go back. Here's Swan. Pushed as he kicked. That influences the kick. At least I hope it did for his sake. It goes directly to Thornton up from the back pocket. Nothing going right for the Magpies at the moment. Short one to Jamieson. Now Jamieson moves across the ground. Needs to find Stevens and does.
Gee, good kick.
Wasn't it a beauty?
Play on.
Simpson running hard here. Goes down the line. Waits hands terrific. Gibbs is running inside the 50.
Oh,
He's got him.
how sweet was that, the length of the ground?
Yeah, their foot skills are sublime at the moment.
Judd set the standard early, didn't he, with those two over the back in the opening term.
Well, they're kicking it quick through the air, and it's very hard for the defenders to stop it.
So what does Gibbs do here? Does he just pop it up to the goal square? He does. Favola, Hampson, belted away by Lee Brown.
The kick wasn't good there, Bruce. It needed to be about 10 metres out. So if they do punch it, it becomes dangerous and doesn't go through.
So Leon Davis
To himself, and then with precision too. This lovely kick finds Brown. Nathan Brown hard against the boundary line. Back to Davis. You see him back inside the defensive 50. 38 plays 6. Collingwood still goalless.
Just no run though for Collingwood. They're struggling to get it out. They might get it out through Harry Taylor here.
O'Brien gave it to Cook. Cook drives it towards the wing. I heard it, but I didn't believe it. It's out of bounds at the interchange gates.
O'Brien, I should say. Need Harry Taylor out there. They need something down back.
So we get a boundary throw in. They had 1-6 at halftime against St Kilda, so I suppose some interest lies there. They need a goal to level that.
I think if your name is Harry, though, you don't play up forward.
Do you think Harry's just
Defenders? Yeah, they're defenders.
Harry Belafonte,
Oh, good defender.
a great defender. Knocked down by Brown.
Play on.
O'Brien. Brown once more. O'Brien in all sorts of trouble against the flow Murphy. Brown got a hot one for Carlton. Back comes Cook and kicks from the wing towards half forward. Lurking behind this pair is Thornton. There he is. Austin, they've got the extra man. Jamieson. He's a better kick than Thornton, but Thornton won't waste it either. Goes to Scotland. Taking off is Joseph. Back the young man. No, he goes in short. Gibbs.
Thanks, Dane. Hold there, please.
Slips catch.
Waite has taken off on the outer side. Will he go to Waite? No. Comes to Armfield. Now Hadley coming across on the angle. Thinks about going to Hadley. Now he decides to run it up. Goes short. Murphy. Oh, what a good young player he is, Murphy. He's a terrific player.
Just getting better and better. I thought his skills were going to be his downfall, but he's obviously worked really hard on them over the pre-season, and he's coming to this season and very rarely misses a target.
He was taken at 1 ox just in front of Dale Thomas and Pendlebury not far behind them.
Yeah, well, he could have been playing up in Brisbane too if he followed the father son.
So here's Thornton trying to set up to half forward. Pendlebury, pretty good job there, but the Blues, and here is Murphy charging towards goal and missing.
It's uncanny.
On cue. The only thing you can say about Collingwood at the moment is that Carlton finding it hard to get a goal right now. but they've got 6 of them.
So Collingwood.
Oh, that was a given. Probably, to be honest, when you looked at their team on paper today, it was one of the things you talked about. Though Anthony and Davis have been great goal scorers this year.
Bruce, don't flirt with that analytical mind down the end of the table.
The Ox.
Yes, he's on today. Prestigiacomo ambles up towards centre half back. There's just no conviction. That's a terrible kick from Maxwell. Out to Davis. Davis to midfield. That was better. Yes, strong mark taken in front there. Tuvi's got it. Just pops it up. Nathan Brown on the forward line. White did well, got a fist in there. Well played by Anthony. Was he taken high? Yes, he was. Advantage is played. Now here's a chance. Reid inside the forward 50. And it's going to be a free kick, I think, to Reid.
Over the shoulder.
He made to earn it.
Jack, take it out. Ready?
This one there from White, a bit high. Let's have a look at this. Yeah, that's there. All right, got to slot this one through. Oh, gee.
It's a goal.
A nervous kick. An end-over-end tumbler. But got the result. And you're right, Bruce, 27 points for all the play that Carlton have had and the lack of consistent play that Collingwood have had. They're only 4.5 goals down. 4.5 goals. Well, we know we've seen a lot of games, in particular with Collingwood, that can be brought back very quickly.
Well, Ben Reid was dropped after round 1 because he did have the yips in front of goal. He was actually pick 8 in the 2006 draft as a key forward, but after round 1, he got sent back to the VFL where he's been spending time in defence. I want to teach him how to play as a key defender. Because of the injuries, the Collingwood have got up forward. He's been forced up forward today, and they need goals from him.
So Cruiser out of the centre. Shaw overran it. Good pressure from Judd on Maxwell too. Hadley on hands and knees. Suddenly you feel like the next goal is important, don't you? O'Brien, Maxwell. It's been 23 minutes since Carlton's kicked a goal, Ox. Just want that analytical mind of yours working. They kicked 5 in the first 21 and they haven't kicked one for 23, or they kicked 1.
Well, they've messed around with it a little bit. They haven't gone in with as much power. And that's, I reckon, their structures are a little bit out. Brendan Favola's up the other end of the ground. They're trying to run it onto the football, but it's they haven't really got it on half forward. They're just messing around with it in the middle of the ground.
He responded accordingly, Dennis. You knew he would, the Ox.
Yes.
Tuvey to Wellingham to Clark.
He's dragged down by Scotland. Just hand past it, trying to get rid of it to anyone. In goes Russell. Not one of his. And Russell is held by 3 Collingwood players. We'll have a ball up out towards right centre wing for Carlton. Just the 1 goal in this term to the Blues. Cruiser kicked it. That was a long time ago. Over the top, a big leap. Knocked the ball down from Brown. O'Brien did very well in a tight situation. Spirals it to centre half forward. Almost the clever mark at the back by Jamison. Recovers. Ball spills wide of the pack. Squirting his way through. Finding a way through is Scotland. Well done. Went to Thornton. Goes to the outer side. Simpson's got it now. Hadley wants it back in the corridor, not the spot for it.
Good work here by Simpson, because Collingwood have gone up a notch. He's just saying, let's calm it down a bit.
Judd is coming, continues to come, and didn't get the footy. That's in the back, surely. Free kick to Shaw. That ball should have come a lot earlier. Judd was running out of space by the time it got to him. He had a break of 20. He had to hesitate because the boundary was coming up too quickly, and as a result, Shaw able to close. He kicks it back towards half forward. Almost a hand on the shoulder. Doesn't matter. Simpson in front takes the mark opposed to O'Brien.
He's a good player overhead. He doesn't look like he's going to be able to take marks, but just keeps the ball alive. Well done.
So Jamison. Oh, that's a poor kick, but Bowers got a heap of time here. He's got Russell very short.
Man on man now, Collingwood. They're making sure that Carlton hit the targets. Bit of pressure on.
Holding.
So Pendlebury, who played most of the first half in the back 50, to Wellingham, to Anthony. Well, it was a good kick as it turned out.
They're on here. Collingwood have just gone up considerably. And what they've said to Carlton, if you're going to run it out, you're going to have to hit the target now, because we're not going to give any loose players. We're going to go man on man. You must hit a target.
Well, you couldn't think of a better bloke to have the ball right now. They need this goal. This gives them some momentum.
Missed his first shot in the first term.
14-5 from set shots this year, and he's missed that one. So his strength not coming to the fore here, and Collingwood miss a chance. 8 scoring shots to 9. Stephen Short to Jamison.
Jamison up from the back pocket then. So a test for Carlton here, doing much as they liked in the first quarter and 10 minutes. Suddenly, how's that for a mark, Ox?
Clunk.
He just plucked it. That's terrific. And those hands come and grasp the ball, not there cupped waiting for the ball, but they go and get the ball. And now White, it's been a live wire for them.
He's got a shot here.
He's got the ball just outside the 50. Where did Willingham come from? Not sure he can do that. White goes back, and the mark is taken by Austin. Austin across the ground. Brown inside the centre square. Goal square, son. Not sure that's the spot for it, though. 3-on-1 in the pocket. The bowler did some pushing, did he?
Bring it back.
Must have. Against Fev. And the rumour circulating after last week was that he put on weight during that game.
Fev.
Not much running.
So Lockwood half back.
Good on.
Wide to Tuvey. He was the inclusion for Medhurst. He's got to think their way through this, Collingwood, don't they? They're getting enough of the ball right now to give themselves a chance by half-time.
I reckon they're thinking better than Carlton at the moment.
Carlton seem to be rushing once they get forward of centre, where if they did exactly what they're doing in their back line, they'd be able to cut through what Collingwood are trying to achieve. But they've certainly gone up because they're now tackling and they're starting to get involved in the game.
Pendlebury's been very, very busy. He's been averaging 29 this year, and he's on for something higher than that
Good
today.
Shepherd.
Well done, Davis, with a bit of magic too, with the one arm. Swan worked out of it. Gibbs.
It's good play.
To Yaron. First real look at him today.
So a couple of youngsters being called upon now to work their way through this maze. Robinson. That's ambitious. Simpson. Well, could have been holding the ball. Robinson goes with courage. It's going to require more than that here, though. He could be holding the ball. Did he dive on it? Apparently not.
The problem with Carlton, they've only gone inside 4 times in the last 18 minutes.
They're just impotent at the moment.
It's a different side to what we saw in the first term.
Hampson gets his own ball.
Well done.
They need some broken play, maybe. Hadley got it from Simpson. Too slick for Cruiser. Well done, Brown. O'Brien, side bottom. Terrific build-up. Tuvey needs a finishing kick. Brown is angling his run to the square. Brown goes up, drops it. Oh, gee. Russell. Brown. Joseph. Now, they've got the numbers because Collingwood was spewing forward. The hand pass comes from Murphy to Simpson. Simpson. He runs just outside the 50, pops it looking for White. White juggles the mark. He's 55 metres out.
This could be a defining moment in this first half, this passage of play. Almost Fev. Pendlebury playing some sort of first half, isn't he? Beams got it back from Wellingham. Brown. Back to Beams, so they got off the hook there. I reckon Lee Brown's feeling... That's a terrible kick. Lee Brown's probably feeling a bit better right now.
That's not good enough. That is not good enough by Heath Shaw. That was a one-step.
So Judd to Robinson.
Clever mark by Judd too. That was a difficult ball to mark. It was doing all sorts of things. There's Fev up ahead. But give credit to Collingwood. Led by Pendlebury, they've worked their way back into some sort of a contest.
Well, they were in serious trouble.
They had to stop things first and then start again. Scotland long. They can ill afford a mark down here, though. Well done by the man, just floating across the top and slapping away the captain. Nick Maxwell took a heavy blow in that opening term, was winded, crashed the turf.
Big couple of minutes here.
Absolutely. Collingwood need to hold. Judd trying to get through. Clever. Yaron, open goal. Beckins gets it. Well done, the captain.
When you need a lift, when you need some sensibility to come back into the match. Look at that. That's just clean. It's one take. And it's good vision to see a player in front. This is one grab. Bang, right there. You've got a player on him and still able to hit the handball.
It's very powerful through the hips, isn't he? I mean, just held his ground so well.
Absolute beauty.
Judd sucking it in. What a player he's been over the stretch, and that was just typical of what he's been able to do. The clearance king and then creative. So suddenly that scoreboard looks very lopsided again. Collingwood desperate for a late goal here. They've almost worked their way back into the game. O'Brien slaps it. Wasn't good. Scotland. He plays very well against his old team. Averages 25 disposals. Good tackle there by Cox. Murphy on the end of it though. Through heavy traffic. Well done though, the Pies. They held him up. O'Brien's handball to Beams. To Tuvey for the second time on a run. To Swan. Has to kick the goal. He's 50 out. It's an awful kick. Davis. Good contest. Joseph. And then came side bottom. He put the footy down, and that was deliberate by Joseph.
You've got to understand how good Joseph was in that piece of play. Not to give away the free kick to Leon Davis. He's very, very clever, but he was able to hold his feet and not give away the free.
Terrible kick by Swan, though.
Horrible.
Such a good player to do that.
He came in with an injury cloud with a groin, Den, and at full stretch, trying to kick 50 metres, late into the second term, might have been just asking a bit much.
Robinson comes away. What was Murphy thinking moments ago, trying to get through that pack? Here's Betts, got it from Hadley. Unloads all Collingwood. Maxwell hit the ground running. Shaw, better kick this time. Here's Cook just forward of the wing. Where's the movement? Goes in short. Can Beams get there? No. Simpson going back takes the mark. Poor disposal hurting the Magpies in the last couple of moments.
That's just a poor kick. You want to get dangerous. Only kick to a short like that if you know that the man is free.
Hadley to Robinson. And Robinson short of the wing.
I like this player. He's got a lot of upside.
Back he goes to Bauer. Hadley. So Carlton work the clock down a bit here. They might set up for one last thrust. They'd be certainly happy with a 32-point lead at half-time. They would have taken that before the start, but it's been a tale of two quarters for them, hasn't it?
Yep.
Well, they've won the second term. They're 5 points up in the second term. And really, they've probably won 20 minutes of it.
Showed a lot of the ball to Swan there. Now working hard, Swan. Dropped by side bottom. Judd getting involved. He's had a magnificent opening half. Back to Judd from Gibbs. Running hard with the bounce. Don't they love him here at the MCG as he kicks the ball to the 50. So Fev without a shot on goal. Playing a different role so far. Judd the star. Massive crowd in. And they've seen an unusual opening half. Collingwood down. Not completely out, maybe. We'll find out. Half-time at the G. Traditional rivals here. And the Blues lead it 45-13 on Sunday footy.
Well, they certainly need it.
They need the first goal.
Yep.
They need to get it out of the centre and start putting some pressure on the Carlton defenders.
Big crowd Sunday afternoon at the G. Opening bounce of the second half. Cruiser back over his head. Austin, Murphy, Scotland taken by Brown. Thornton with some time took all of it. Scotland, now Judd Drives down towards half forward, hangs a long time in the air. Favola gets a crumb, hooks it back towards full forward, slipping down there Hampson, and then Maxwell repaid the favour. It bounces towards the pocket. Wait, can he start the third term as he did the first? Has a snap, no. Out of bounds on the full.
Judd again in the middle was able to get the ball into their attacking 50. Someone's just got to be close to him. Yeah, you're not going to be able to stop him from getting a hell of a lot of possessions, but you've got to play close to him and make sure that you are defensive side of him. Easier said than done.
He's their prime mover, isn't he?
Oh, he's so good. And I don't think people appreciate how good he is unless you're at the ground watching the stuff he does when he hasn't got the footy.
He's going to go down as one of the great recruits of all time, isn't he? Gave West Coast wonderful service and looks like giving the Blues all of that. So O'Brien close to the line to Wood. It's like they're walking a tightrope, Collingwood. They've got to go close to the edges at the moment, both literally and figuratively. They're 5 goals down. It's not impossible, but they've only kicked 1 goal and a half. They had their lowest score under Mick Malthouse last Monday night. Had all sorts of injury worries that have affected their forward line. And the delivery to them. So free kick to Stevens. So quietish opening to the second half.
Not a lot of involvement by players or the crowd at the moment.
Short to Scotland and back to Stevens. Scotland provided the shield for him. Here's Robinson, who's made his mark. Belts it inside 50. Hampson! Oh, they like that, the Blues.
Just back and beat him.
Gee, he went at that and he, once again, he just grabbed it and said, right, it's mine.
That's perfect. That's perfect.
Actually, I've liked the way this boy's moved today. Attacks the footy. He's got a good developing body on him.
He's a magnificent physique, isn't he? And goes long and strong and straight.
I think he surprised himself. Kind of looked at it and said, well, it's a bit easy.
If you liked him a minute ago, Ox, what do you think of him now?
Well, and this was Robertson's kick. He got it in long and he got it in there quick. It's a good mark. The backliners may come under some serious threat in this term. The floodgates could open.
Gee, Fev would have been pleased with that kick.
Oh.
Talked about it before, but that's the classic mark. Those hands spread and then they come and they grab the ball.
Stuart Lowe-like.
Yeah, too many players get their hands there early.
Yeah.
Just try and cup it. It bounces out so often. Cruiser down to Judd. Knocks it forward. A little fumble from Simpson. Now Clark's in desperate trouble. Fed it back. Shaw did well. O'Brien. Now Wood on the outer side of the square. Not a good kick, but effective enough. Reed long down towards full forward. Anthony worked out of it initially. Leads back in the race now. Jamison closing. Gives it off to Lockyer. Wellingham, they need a goal here. That's anything but.
Good pressure
on the full it was, but Wellingham still should have done better. Murphy.
Had to stop and change direction. So
yeah, it's good play.
Stevens.
Really good play there by Stevens. He just used his body to his advantage, protected the space where the ball was going to land, and Marty Clark had to give away a free.
And he's got Murphy running, who'd kicked the ball to him in the first place. And now Murphy with a careful kick to fall forward. Maxwell to fly. Gee, Wade had a little bit there. And so did Brown.
Well, that should have been a mark. Thought Brown had enough of that.
I reckon Jared had a fair chunk of that too.
I think Wade's in there.
Oh, front position. It's hard enough for defenders anyway.
So Wood and Cruiser. The ball might have hit the umpy there, I'm not sure.
Hit him right on the mic.
Did it?
And O'Brien's going, come on. Hop out of the way. Pendlebury still on the bench.
Almost got a quote from T.W. Sheeran. Tossed in, falling to the ground. Maxwell just hand passes for the boundary. It just trickles out. Or did it?
well, hang on.
Someone's got a whistle.
The whistle in the crowd beforehand?
Yeah, that's
Ball did
the
go out.
No, then, no problem. Straight in. There's a whistle in the crowd there.
Yeah, there wasn't a whistle in the crowd.
Your ball definitely went out?
The ball went out.
It did go out.
Has the ball crossed the line?
It has.
Ball crossed the line? Definitely. Okay. Sinkers?
Well, the umpire was right. It did go out. There's the phantom whistler. Not exactly a phantom. We know who he is. He won't last long. Simpson's over the football now. Down goes White. Booted out of there by Brown. O'Brien on the up did well. Swan overshoots the mark. Oh, going back with courage on the outer side, Austin, but he actually wrecked it for a teammate. 3-on-1 though. Thornton comes away. Stevens will be put under pressure. Man couldn't get there in time. And now Bauer changes things, comes across the ground to Jamison. White comes hard at him. I think that was intended for White. It's hard to tell. Lockyer went to ground. Shaw will need to go out of bounds on the full.
Gee, I like Hampson's efforts at the moment. Second and third efforts for a big bloke. He's got a lot of speed.
Gee, had a presence there, didn't he? He was able to get to a contest on more than one occasion, and probably had a lot to do with Shaw kicking it out on the fall. Jumping Judge Teray again.
He's jumping this afternoon.
You know what? Before the bounce started, Dennis, this is Juddy. We love this. Before the centre bounce today and before the coin toss, he was waiting for a couple of minutes and he was doing just some vertical jumps.
Yeah.
It'd be fair to say he had the spring in his step. He was. I thought, gee, he's got a good leap there. He's a 50. He should slot it through now.
I reckon he would have traded that one for the grand final mark when Leo Barry took it in that self-same spot. He was in that pack the judge done.
I said move now. He hasn't moved.
But I reckon the state his body was in at the end of the best case, he'd take that, wouldn't he? I mean,
no doubt.
He couldn't get off the ground at all. What a player he is. Making a difference again today.
Even Juddy would like to see the replay of that. He's done a lot of good stuff, but I think for any midfielder to take a mark at the back of the pack, there's some big boys in there too. There's Cruiser. Tuvey's trying to punch it away. Maxwell. Hampson is at the front. Woods there. Here's Juddy over the top, and it's a nice mark. It's a very nice mark.
So physically you feel like he's just about back to his best when he can do that, don't you?
He's very close.
Remember, I was talking to a guy who saw him play a lot as a junior, and he said he was a terrific high mark. I brought it up with Chris and said that I hadn't seen that. Very defensive he was. Now he's got the last laugh. Pendlebury got the footy, emerges with it across to Wood. Kicks inside the forward 50. Test of strength. Jamison did okay. Hitting the pack hard was Brown. Austin was being held. He'll get the free.
Clear hold of his jumper. Well, he doesn't have the footy. You're pulling his jumper like that.
Austin, a very handy size. It will fit nicely back there.
Play on.
Gibbs. Yaron. Defensive side of the wing. Short to a man who never stops running. Cade Simpson. A lot of the football again this afternoon, coming up for his 18th possession.
He's had a very good season, Den.
Oops. Gibbs missed it. Time to recover. Russell. Plenty of support alongside Simpson once more. White is breaking towards the outer side. Where does he go? Very short though. Murphy. 52 metres out for bowlers on the burst. Bacon square. Spots that. Goes long. How does it bounce on its point? Betts still going. Good defending down there by Maxwell. Well sort of. Judd slips. For bowler. Smothered. Out of bounds.
The way Juddy slipped over there, I thought, oh, that's going to test the groin, the knee and the ankle all in the one motion. You'll see here. This one. Oh, ouch.
Oh.
Ah, very lucky.
Cruiser front spot, Wood at the back. And Cook and Tuvey. And then Scotland hassled the ball out. Davis ran into Judd. Judd again puts a tackle on Corey. He's doing it all at the moment. And again, a ball up.
Through, mate.
Bit stiff there, the judge did, because he put the ball on the ground, Corey, didn't he? And it was slapped off the ground there.
I think that's why Juddy's an exceptional player, because he's not just content on getting the ball outside and hitting a target. He'll do the hard work, he'll do the grunt work. Free kick.
Nick Maxwell, free kick to Nick Maxwell, push in the back.
So the captains collide.
Take one mark and you think you're a ruckman. Here's Davis. Has a bounce across half back. That's a good kick. Lockyer. Armfield, good closing speed, but he took him just over the shoulder, brushed the shoulder, so Lockyer rewarded for that hard running. Has the ball at defensive side of the wing. Oh, Cox drops the mark. Time to recover. Feigns a hand pass. Untidy kick. It wanders towards the 50. Bauer comes through. Hand passes straight up in the air. Hadley's got it. Goes to Bauer. Cold potato in there at the moment. Charging in Davis at the base of that pack. And the ball's not coming out.
That would have been tough.
In fact, it's Corrie.
Brett Ratton, Mick Malthouse there.
57 plays 13.
So Collingwood unable to add to that score at half-time. Pendlebury, Corrie. So Pendlebury who started the second half on the bench, having the calves worked on.
Scott, I'm watching. I just didn't think it was enough back then, but I'm watching.
They're in a real difficult stage of the season, Collingwood, aren't they?
Yep.
They've got a lot of very good players out. They're struggling, can't get goals. It's like they're in this trough as Davis goes to full forward. Brown is forward. Well done, Waite. Scotland.
No little crummer. That's been one of their big problems.
Wasn't 15. Here's Bauer. And decides to go with a long ball, but Collingwood with some numbers. And that's a great result for Carlton. Gee.
Free kick. Let him go. Let him go. Throw him. Throw him.
So good umpiring. All sorted out.
That ball was like an obedient dog. It just found the boundary. Opportunity for Betts. Judd once more. Heard the voice. Cruiser goes after it. Still Cruiser. Great agility for a big guy. Then he locks on. Got Clark, who was coming across on the angle. Brown found a way out of there. Goes to Cox. Cox slips a hand pass away to Shaw. Now Shaw dashing around the outer side. Look at him go.
Good
making
chase.
little impression is Yaron. Still going Shaw. Long kick to fall forward. Robinson works in front. Falls to Lockyer. Pushing the back.
Good chase there by Yaron. Could have given it up. Didn't make any ground, but the effort was still there. Good front and square roving here too by Lockyer. Yeah, just sloppy by Russell.
I think Yaron learned something just looking at him over there, getting some plaudits from his teammates, as much as he ran so hard, but he was plumb tuckered out now. And Shaw was going, bouncing the footy, and he wasn't catching him. And I'd say throughout his junior footy, Yaron, few players have done that to him.
He's only had the 8 touches. He's been kept pretty quiet by Armfield.
Having said that, Heath Shaw's gone for a pit stop. In comes Lockyer and kicks the goal. Their second.
To say they needed that is an understatement. Double their scores or their goals. But it was good play by Heath Shaw. He actually took the game on. And disciplined by his teammates too to open it up for him. They could have come to him and blocked up the space, but they fanned out, and that enabled Shaw to run down the length of the ground. And if you get it in quick and long to the dangerous spot, things appear. That appeared for Lockyer. Goal as a result.
Been a mighty fine player and a good goal kicker in the last couple of seasons, Lockyer. It was well done by Shaw. We'll find out how many people there are here in the next half an hour, but it feels like there's over 80,000. It's a massive crowd, and the Pies fans haven't had a lot to cheer about. Judd has been brilliant. Back to Scotland. Haven't seen much of Fev in that forward 50. It's been a strange day for him. Betts slaps it forward.
And Presti's done well when Fev's gone deep. He's a much, not a much improved footballer, but Presti's having one of his better seasons. And when he's on song, Presti's very hard to score against.
Yep.
I reckon he's moving better, Ox, than he has
really
for
good. Maybe that year off, Bruce, has really freshened him up.
Only played the 2 games last year.
Yep.
Both very late in the season. Beam's good there to Brown, a couple of their young hopefuls, and well done Austin. Speaking of young hopefuls, she's good size, isn't he?
Done a couple of good things in the last 5 minutes. This is good because he spoils with his left arm. He spoiled earlier with his right. To be able to do both, not that easy.
Oh, the old double spoiler.
Good movement by him, and speaking of movement, Hampson certainly showed a bit early in this half.
Stevens taken down by Brown.
No Pryor. Ball pin. Thanks, Brownie.
So a bounce. No margin for error now for Collingwood. Just over 11 minutes till three-quarter time. Gloomy day at the MCG. Hampson lost his balance. Brown lays it down in the path of Davis. Quickly got boot to ball. That was clever around the outer side. Bauer got a fist on it. Joseph, the meat and the sandwich, down he went. And the umpire will ball it up. Reed there at the base of things.
Thanks, Ben. On you,
A
mate.
couple of goals before three-quarter time by Collingwood could effectively make the Blues a little bit nervous.
Well, they could have put a bit more scoreboard pressure on the Blues, but they haven't.
Yeah. The door is ajar, but barely. Clark taken down, slapped out of there by Hampson. Onto the loose ball, Davis. Speaking of goals, right on the boundary. Tries to angle it through. I think it is. I think it is.
Oh, that is exceptional. The pickup's impressive in itself. Good shepherd there by Corrie. And he's chasing and such a good goal. Such a good goal. There's not much more you can say. That's just a very, very good goal. He meant it.
Good. You're a tough marker.
Very, very.
He can light it up, can't he, Leon? That was special. It was a magnificent kick. And who knows, it might be the spark the Pies need. They've kicked a couple in a row. Pendlebury run down.
Holding the ball. Mitch, your ball.
He's a terrier, isn't he?
Yeah.
He looks like he loves the tackle. His eyes light up. Be fair to say, though, Pendlebury wasn't moving that quick when he had the footy there.
Clark and Tuvey combining. Well done there by Simpson. Brilliant Simpson. He worked that magnificently and gives Fev his first chance of the day.
Class, eh? He just beat Tuvey for pure class.
He hasn't missed a match since round 14:05, Simpson.
Yeah.
Now, you wouldn't say he's a star at Carlton in terms of named players, but he's been picked in every match for the last 80-odd, and he doesn't let them down, does he? He's getting better.
He's a beauty.
Probably one of the first pick now, too. He's that valuable to the side.
First shot for their champion goal kicker. Struck it pretty well. Not going to be a goal, though. Oh, big fly. And Collingwood, well, there's still a little pulse. Davis quickened the heart, didn't he, a moment ago?
Yep.
And Fev didn't put them to sleep there. It was always going to be a tough one. That was brilliant by Simpson.
Only the 6 touches for Fev, and most of those have been up the ground. Different role for him here this afternoon.
Pendlebury to himself and then drives it close to the boundary. It's a good kick. Shaw 2 metres in from the line. Kicks beyond the wing. 1-out contest. Push in the back. Against Jamison to go to Cook.
Didn't need to do that either. He had him for size. He had him for body position, and well,
Yours, that's fine.
I think there's controversy over the whistle in the crowd. Meantime, Davis.
there he is. This is the spark that Collingwood are looking for, and he's the little man that might be able to do it. He's kicked one from the boundary. He's then plucked a good mark over a player that probably is smaller than him, and that wouldn't happen too often. That's a nice mark.
He got the impossible. Can he get the regulation?
I actually prefer Leon on the run. Dan, what do you think?
No, I think he'll get it.
So do I.
He's twirling that football like I don't like.
Centre right. Centre right.
And he comes. Leon. Too much twirling. Wow, that's a let off. That would have really tightened things up and tightened his stomach. Not his. He's doing as much as he can on the ground. Now, how does he break free in that situation? Well, as it was, Shaw got there in the nick of time. It was a bad kick. Swan, they're looking for the old 7-point play. Thornton down there. Jamison in the pocket. Stevens. Suddenly Collingwood revitalised. Bauer, advantage paid. Stevens up towards the wing. Here comes Cruiser. Awkward half volley. Spills across to Hadley. Diving in underneath him is Corrie. Is that holding the football? He dived on it. Comes out to Stevens, doesn't matter. Runner gets in the road. Chance now for Clark. Comes behind to O'Brien. Sweeping hand pass away to Pendlebury. Well done, Pendlebury. Split the indifference and goes down towards half forward. Corrie gets on the football. 55 metres out. Keep your head, son. Comes back to Cook.
Good stuff, 10, as Cook goes to full forward with a high ball. All the numbers with the Carlton. They don't take the mark. It'll be a ball up, I think. The side bottom caught by Judd. Umpire, well done, let it all go. Side bottom still in there with Russell. He's like a little Jack Russell there. And fetched it. And the ball up.
Look, Ebbs, it's ebbing and flowing, the intensity within the game. You have a dull patch for about 10 minutes, and all of a sudden it's pretty hot and blustery for 3 or 4.
Good tap by Wellingham. O'Bree's handball. I reckon Mickey would have loved Collingwood to have come out at half-time like this, wouldn't he?
Yeah.
Gee, that was sedate though, weren't they, in the first 5 minutes?
So Robinson got it from Stevens. Oh. Kept his head. Tuvey had him. Now Stevens, a high tackle.
Oh, they look lost though, don't they, at the moment?
They do.
Yeah, so the crowd aren't happy with that one.
Just slapped by Tuvey. I mean, he put in the effort in, but they had him scun cold. And now Stevens a chance to catch his breath and settle it down.
Russell. Cross half back. Gets the ball to Waite. Now here's trouble. Favola's on the move. Waite goes towards him. That's a beautiful kick. Favola should have done better. He eased as he got to the football. Oh, that's a clever kick though. Makes amends around the corner. Armfield. Young boy from Swan Districts. As is the man who ran past, number 13, Yaron.
Cruz is calling for it coming quick.
Cruiser, the longest man there. So not bad policy to set it up. But Ox made a very good point earlier. Not on the kickoff line. It needs to be about 15 metres out. Either go for it or 15 metres out. Or perhaps kick it out of bounds.
He never looked like he wanted to kick that.
No, that was the third of 2 options, as they say.
If you go back and all the space is taken, you've just got to pick something behind the goals, which is your target, and go for it. Don't second guess yourself on your approach.
Gee, if you plotted Fev's game today and where he's had the ball, it'd probably be unique in terms of the 172 that he's played. I'm not sure if he's ever had the ball in those situations. Torpedo, gee, he's kicked that magnificently.
Not sure you want him there though.
No.
Yeah, I'm not sure you want that kick to happen. You're better off.
Well, that's where the blokes were.
Yeah, I still think it's.
Tell Cruiser to stand 5 metres further out.
Oh.
Clever. Yaron back. Stevens capable from here.
Oh, more than.
He's a good one, isn't he?
Beautiful.
What about the ruck work there by Cruiser? The one over the back, set play. They had 2 players running onto it, Yaron and Judd. And always have that outrider, that safety player at the back, Nick Stevens. Very few players would have been able to make that kick.
Isn't it fascinating, Ox? I mean, he was the big star at Carlton when he came in the midfield, but his contribution is just fantastic.
Yeah, just put him up the half-back line and give him the footy and let him use it to what he can do.
Lots of stars in the AFL, certainly, but with the ball in his hands, I'm not sure many players are better than Nick Stevens. That was just terrific. Seen so many examples of his wonderful skill with the ball. Pendlebury, was he pushed in the back? No free kick. Judd had it, lost it. Gibbs feeds it back. Brown. Scotland. Now Joseph, forward of half back, goes down towards half forward. White, interesting manoeuvre to get back in front. Falls down to Stevens. He fell over with some assistance. Going after the footballer, Bree, Pendlebury, Swan. Well represented there, the Magpies. Swan goes down towards half forward. Austin from behind again goes with a fist. Fell in front. Taken by Lockyer. Backs off. Comes to Cook. Running to space is Anthony. He sends it in that direction. Set him a task. Coming back. Bowen knocked it towards the boundary. Stayed inside bottom. Thornton. He'll get the free kick.
Just here. Just there. Lee.
Just having a dirty day, Lee Brown.
He's having a shocker. He's had one handball for the afternoon and one tackle.
Play on.
So Thornton gets it to the wing. Cruiser a target with Hampson. So a couple of big guys. Gibbs did well to Waite, to Scotland, back to Hampson, emerging, isn't he? To Brown, who was the late inclusion, has a few options. Lovely kick to Murphy. They've done that a few times today, the Blues, over the back, haven't they? Judd did it twice in the opening term.
And it's on the counter-attack they're able to do that. Collingwood tried to do it with Lee Brown. Spoke about his possessions, the one handball. He also did have a drop mark inside the goal square.
Wasn't that fantastic, though, by the youngster Brown? Favola was demanding the footy, but he went to the best one.
As Murphy misses.
Oh, maybe not.
So 10 marks inside 50 for the Blues, Ox, by 10 different players today.
They've only had one multiple goal kicker, and that was Jarrad Waite, and I think he kicked the first two of the game.
Correct.
Clark. Short. Heath Shaw out of the back pocket. Tuvey. From left half back, kicks beyond the wing. Lee Brown's the target. From behind Bauer, knocked it on the ground. Lee Brown with finesse, well played, gives it to Cook. Cook slips it away to Swan. Hadley, Judd, Cruiser. Now a chance to catch them on the rebound. Simpson, Favola, too tall for Favola, goes behind. Waite wheels around. Judd was the man to give it to, not required. Kicks the goal. That's his third.
Could he play full forward at a pinch weight? I mean, if something happened with Fev, could he be an option there?
No doubt. No doubt. And I think the best thing for him was him going down into the defence to understand what needs to be done to be a forward. I think he's picked up a lot of tricks, and he now becomes a very versatile footballer. When you've got athleticism and you've got speed and you've got good skill, you're more than halfway to being a handy player.
Well, he's the only multiple goal kicker for the day, Waite, and he's got 3 of them. And hard day for the Prez. They're in that difficult stage of the season, aren't they? With looking like a 3-5 first 8 games with a lot of players out and having to try and just stay tough and stay somewhere near the 8.
Nothing upsets fans more than teams that don't kick goals too. I mean, coming off a 5, Mick Malthouse, people talking about his future. Well, he can ill afford 4 or 5 this afternoon.
He's only got 3.
Which isn't fair, but...
No, it's not. Well, they've had 7 changes. It hasn't been easy for them, missing all their clever forwards. They haven't had a forward at ground level either, which has been a real concern for them.
So Brown gets it to full forward. Anthony made a contest. Lockyer's snap is wide and a long way from it. Anthony without a goal. He's not played a game of AFL footy and missed out so far. This is his 19th match.
An abnormal stat. 41 marks to Collingwood, 91 to Carlton. There's a huge differential there.
Here's Jamison. Goes out with an untidy kick to the boundary, and it beats Murphy across, who decides to stay out there. He comes back in, just goes through the interchange gates. 71 plays 27. And the fact that they are missing a lot of players, Collingwood, hasn't made the performance by Carlton that impressive since the opening term. They've struggled for goals too.
I'm not sure if Mick's got any options though. There's not a hell of a lot he can do to actually change this trend. His midfielders are getting their hands on the footy. without any real effect. His forward line hasn't really functioned. His defenders have just been thereabouts. I'm not sure if he's got much switching of players that will affect much in the result.
I think you're right.
Just have a look at the players there. There's Meadows, Cloak. Now they're two of the main important players for the Collingwood strike force.
And Dennis, they went from 116 to 99 last Monday night in Vicini, so you almost feel like damage control is the way to go here too. Losing some again today in that jog lamb. Log jam, I should say. I felt like Tim was still side bottom for a moment. Here's Clark. So if you don't kick many goals, you find it very hard to keep that percentage going as side bottom gets it from O'Brien to Brown, who's had 5 pretty good minutes. He's had a disappointing day. He asked a lot of Anthony, who made the contest. Blues with the numbers. Brown, good pressure by Collingwood forwards there. Still with a chance, and then Lee Brown gets involved again. Just wonder, Ox, with Lee Brown, because they've gone with Fraser and Lee Brown basically for the whole year now. Wood comes in today. Brian is still around the place. So he's probably playing for his footy future.
Oh, no doubt. Absolutely no doubt.
He's been the backup ruckman who might be able to go forward or fill a hole down back, but it hasn't worked well at all today. Cruiser, Hadley, and now Gibbs.
Feeds it back. Scotland. Again, a lot of the football this afternoon. Cade Simpson got there in time. Maxwell was closing.
I'm glad he pulled out, because you can see the whites in his eyes just getting wider.
Chris Judd's got the football now. 21st possession coming up. Takes the man on the mark. Goes to Betts. Not sure why. Betts sends a high ball towards full forward. Big pack. Russell, what a terrific mark.
Gee, that's a great grab.
Bit of a tease, this player, isn't it?
Yeah, and much maligned by a lot of Carlton people too. Just have a look at this.
High draft pick. Getting
nice
high.
mark.
So a kick after the siren.
It's top 10 draft pick. I think number 9 about 5 years ago. So
you're amazing.
Just keep those things in the bank then.
Here's Russell then. And the best and worst of him in the space of a minute and a half. Three-quarter time. Carlton still controlling the game. 11-6 to 3-9. This is Sunday football.
Would do.
Look, I think he's got to just ask and implore his team to actually give an effort to get first to the footy, stick to the disciplines of, you know, what they've been working on, their core values, which would be first to the footy, make sure you land your tackles, make sure we support each other, make sure we get plenty of run, and things may appear. Look, they're probably not going to win the game, and they most likely won't win the game, but they can certainly win the quarter, and you can take that into next week.
45 points the margin then.
They don't want to blow it out here, Dan. They don't want to let it go out to 80 or 90 points.
No. Start of the final term on a Sunday. Hampson goes up, knocks it down. Swan, Wood, O'Brien in trouble.
Just held that in. Mine.
Simpson towards half forward. Pushing the
Push
back.
out. Thank you.
That's just really good play there by Murphy, just knowing where the ball's about to land and protecting the space.
Didn't say it was hands in the back, so it was paid for a push out, was it?
Interference in the marking contest.
Comes and goes a bit, doesn't it?
Yeah.
There's Murphy. Very close to the man on the mark. Going for the extra meterage. 5 metres out. Big leap down there, and a strong mark by Favola, is it? So Favola or Wood? Hands came out of there, and I think the Collingwood man not only took the mark, he's getting 50. Fev pleads his case, but rather inglorious spot to be.
Well, it's a good mark. It's a very, very good mark. Blood rule.
So Wood, you can see that cut at the top of the scalp, the head, as he comes from the ground.
Undisciplined there by Fev, though. Didn't need. You've got the ball inside your square, your forward 50, and you give away 50. It's just, and it was worthless. It was just a little wrestle on the ground. It was silly. That's what Brett Ratten wants to get out of Brennan Favoula's game.
Felt like the coach called his bluff a bit during the week too, Ox, because there's a lot talked about his injury last week, and he obviously didn't play well. And he said on Wednesday at the press conference, no, he's fine, treating him like everybody else, no excuses. He's at another very interesting stage of his career, isn't he? 99 goals last year. He's a superstar, we know that, but he hasn't got a goal today, but he's done some good teamwork today. But just wonder sometimes how long he can be consistent in that type of play. Austin got it from Stevens to Russell, who took a magnificent mark just before three-quarter time.
Had to bounce it.
Now Shaw getting underneath it, and Maxwell giving him confidence, and Shaw goes down the line but coughs it up. Look at the other given. Just about every Collingwood supporter would have said that Didak and Shaw would come out in 09 and absolutely blitz, and for one reason or another they've struggled.
Heath Shaw's football since the driving incident has been horrendous. He is so below his capabilities. I think it'd be a real concern for everyone down at Collingwood, and in particular Heath Shaw.
Swan to Davis to Cox, comes out wide. Lee Brown takes the mark, wants to go. Oh gee whiz. Terrible kick.
That is so bad.
Hasn't been a stellar 5 minutes, this. Gibbs at centre half back's
Need to
got
put the
footy.
lights on, Dan.
Maybe turn them off. Oh, they're off. Here's Murphy. Just squares it.
Fev's coming off.
Obviously to do with the 50. There's Waite, who's been a star this afternoon. Russell. Gee, I don't know about some of his decisions. Scotland just backing off. Prancing at right half back. Decides to run. Just imagine if they put this in the time capsule. As the ball goes down towards half.
Put that in there.
That in the time capsule. One-hander by Judd. Down towards full forward. Bets. Suddenly it got better.
Now, how does he outmark Nathan Brown? How does that happen? We've got a bloke. There's a beautiful mark there.
Against quality opposition.
But how does Eddie Betts move Nathan Brown? Of course not
Nathan Brown.
Well, it's not Nathan Brown. That's why. There you go.
You are amazing. Because that would have been a question that would have bothered me on the flight home. Didn't happen, so I'll sleep smoothly.
I was going to say.
Here's Betts. It's not a reverse banana from the boundary, so expect nothing. He puts it through for a goal.
Ricky's had a big day. At least he got a kiss, didn't he?
He did. Well, no, he didn't get one. He gave one. Big difference.
Oh, good mark there by Juddy. And getting it in long. And unfortunately there for Cook, it was probably the right matchup for Eddie Betts. Where is Nathan Brown?
Don't worry.
So Harry O'Brien
There
back
he
on
is.
the bet. Says Nathan Brown is picking up Fev, who's come back onto the ground. So a couple to Betts. He's giving Fev a run for his money, and the leading goal kicker at Carlton this year. He's on 21, Fev on 24.
Jeez.
Gibbs, Scotland, well done. Hampson to Judd. He might get the 3 Brownlows today, Judd. To full forward. Here's Eddie. So he's got 3. Fev with an assist, eh?
Well, only the second multiple goal kicker, and that's what Eddie Betts can do. He can turn it on. Chris Judd involved in another goal. Good work there by Fev. He had to make the contest. He just came back on, and it's not much. It's pretty subtle. He was actually trying to take the mark himself, but still contested the ball, and he'll be given the goal assist.
been marvellous in the last few minutes. Well, very good all day, but some of his tackling, they're asking so much of him, though. He's applied some strong tackles when, again, he's in there with the body. When things have looked a little gloomy for them, he lifts them with his personal endeavour, but gee, he works hard. Bounce alongside the centre circles. Hampson with the backhander. Tuvey sends it inside the forward 50. Punched away down there by Armfield. Taken by Scotland. Just gave it away. Pendlebury slips a hand pass to Anthony. Will it sit up for him? Yes, it does. He kicks his first goal.
And Anthony keeps that run alive, Bruce. Kicking a goal in every game that he's played. 19 from 19. It's probably not the most traditional goal for him, but that's quite a record, though. It's quite a record for a player to come in, even in his first and second, and to keep that up. It's very rare.
I think Aaron Davey kicked a goal in his first 15 games.
Really?
That is remarkable.
So 19th game, and for the 19th time he gets at least a goal. So Pendlebury's good play through the centre. Gee, they've been good plays these two today, haven't they? Judd and Pendlebury. They've been fabulous.
Had 50 between them, so.
Davis, who had a marvellous 3 or 4 minutes in that third quarter, missed last Monday. Oh! Was it Scotland?
Yes.
Against the flow. He's groggy and still hasn't quite got up.
That's why this game is tough.
I'll say.
Such courage against all the flow there. Russell got it from Judd. Carlton away here. Simpson to Murphy. Will they give Fev one? No, Murphy running in and caresses it home. And Scotland's groggy, but he helped in all of that, and he really is groggy.
Scotland the brave.
Oh, that was heavy. That was so heavy. When you are parallel to the ground and you don't have, just have a look at it, nothing but commitment for the ball, and bang, head first. He's semi-knocked out there. Wow. And that sets up a goal. Good finish there by Murphy. Good teamwork by Simpson to give it off.
Some of those silly comments you hear about the game's not tough anymore.
Wow.
What do those people want?
Wow.
Was that in the back? Pendlebury went to ground. Russell trying to force a passage there. Nothing doing. Umpire lets them play. Judd once more steals the footy. More about will and skill. Just hammered it forward. Shaw, well, oblivious to what was coming. Robinson pinches the footy, kicks a goal. And Judd set them out of the middle.
Oh, beautiful play. Just blindsided Heath Shaw. It hasn't been his afternoon. See the ball come out. It was Chris Judd again. He just snatched the footy. Didn't see him. Good hit. But he kept his feet. And then the composure to slot it through at the same time. Just didn't see him coming here. Good hit. Just stopped him dead in his tracks. He's a beauty, this kid.
No. You would think someone was coming up from there, though, wouldn't you? You'd have a look.
You would.
He's a favourite, isn't he, Robinson? They just love the way he goes about it. He's manic at times, isn't he?
Yeah, terrific.
So Carlton now really getting some reward on the scoreboard, aren't they? They're finishing off as they started with a lot of goals and putting a big space between them and their arch rival. Judd pushing forward. Now Shaw's little one over the top to side bottom. So his second match here, side bottom. He's
had another 15 today. I get out of the last couple of weeks, he's one shining light.
And he's played in the two lowest scoring games so far ever in Mickey's career at Collingwood. His first two games, 40 and 33 at the moment. He's been on the end of a couple of towelings, but he's done his bit, hasn't he, side bottom?
He has.
In fact, Mickey mentioned him in the press conference on Monday night. In fact, they might have found another one. Gibbs down the line for Vola's hip and shoulder. Back to Presti. He'd be pretty happy at the moment in one way, not with the scoreboard. He'd be devastated by that, but with the goals against Favola's name right now, or lack of.
Shaw, sweeping hand pass after all of that goes forward, taken by O'Brien. Drives it down towards half forward. Thornton just ghosting in, takes the mark.
Well, Collingwood, they've got the West Coast Eagles in Subiaco next week. And for them, it's all of a sudden their run looks very, very difficult.
Yeah, that'll be very tough for them. Wonderful. Wellingham going back with a flight of it. He's got it right on the wing. 96 plays 33.
Get it long.
Wellingham. No, that's not the spot for it.
That's a nothing kick. Absolutely nothing.
Yes, it's a strong genre this afternoon, the nothing kick. Especially from Collingwood. Shuffling away, Austin goes down towards half forward. Clever mark, O'Brien. That was great.
This is the worst Collingwood have had. Their skills have been really ordinary today.
That wasn't bad though. It goes with the outside of the boot. He intended that to Tuvey. They will work the boundaries no matter what. And that bounces just inside the boundary and goes out. So right angles the kick. And then one even wider to the boundary. But O'Brien, no fault of his, that was a great mark under real pressure.
Collingwood defence has felt a lot of that today. Cruiser wins the tap. And Gibbs puts the tackle on Wood. So how's Wood gone, do you reckon, Ox? I mean, he gets his chance today with Fraser injured.
Just at best.
Took it out of the air, then Cruiser. Wait, Brown onto him, and Lockett. Well, he had his own teammate there, so he kept the foot down. Russell got it from Austin to Hadley. Hadley into the centre, dangerous spot. Wellingham.
Tackle goal advantage.
Heard the ump. So Cox out wide to Maxwell, charging hard, needs to try and deliver. Got around Robinson, goes to full forward. Beams front spot. Just got past Anthony. Jamison on the up. Cruiser like a rover, isn't he, at times? Out to Yaron. Haven't seen a whole lot of him. Robinson, who looks a bit hurt here. Not really stretching out, and a boundary throw in.
A lot of tired bodies out there. They just both run from the other end of the ground. Maxwell took off and Mitch followed him.
And what today's doing also is giving Carlton a huge percentage advantage over Collingwood. They came in with about 20% more, and that's increasing by the minute.
Davis, we saw Judd stretching on the boundary as Davis kicks from about 75 metres out. Oh, what a good mark.
Great mark. Great mark. He plays that third man well.
Yeah. He's backed himself a few times, hasn't he? Just to come across. And
Nathan Brown will learn from that. He needs to just bring the ball to the ground. He's got to make a contest. He can't allow that to happen.
Murphy.
That's yours.
Coming up for possession number 24. Judd back on the ground, back in the action. Looking for 30 again this afternoon. Cruiser, 27 for Judd at the moment. O'Brien. A kick from Wellingham down towards half forward. Under pressure, Lockyer coming up the ground. Jamison tried to go to Judd, chopped off by Wellingham. Cruiser was in there. Wood worked out of it. Jamison picks up the footy, chooses the right option, comes back to Thornton. In its way, a very forgettable game, this one. Thornton in the back pocket, issuing a few instructions, floats it outside the 50. Punch back in by Cox. Well, almost. Judd knocks it out again. O'Brien's got it now. Got it from Lockyer. Ran into a dead end. Well done, Gibbs. Well done, Judd. Over the head of Jamison. Well, if you're sitting in this area, about 20 metres away, you're getting your money's worth. There goes the kick eventually down towards full forward from Wood. Bauer decides that Carlton should go around the outer side wing. Austin's got the run of it. Well done, O'Brien.
Did do well to Swan. And then Swan centering kick gives Lockyer the chance. Couldn't quite take it, Lockyer. Then doesn't quite get enough on it to kick the goal. Anthony, well done, almost held it. Thornton and Jamison, no free kick. Beams, scrambles it through. Anthony worked hard.
How's that not a free kick?
Well, scrappy play again. And Beams ends up kicking the goal, but it wasn't normal. It wasn't your run-of-the-mill goal. Bit of a contest there. And that is a free kick.
He wasn't concerned with giving away a free kick. He was just angry.
No, he was frustrated. Yep.
Beams getting his first kick of the afternoon. Up until then, 7 hand passes.
Doesn't mean it's right. The umpires should have been able to see that.
I think so. I mean, Anthony had given up on the ball. He was just angry and was quite prepared to concede a free kick.
Dragged it in, must get
Just
rid of
for
it,
the
dragged it in.
feel of human flesh.
Bring the ball. You dragged it in.
Against Hadley,
Let him up.
O'Brien hasn't stopped trying. 20 possessions. Shaw runs, then kicks inside the forward 50. Anthony hasn't stopped presenting as this ball is knocked towards the boundary, and Jamison heads for the interchange. 9 minutes to go. Just watch this again. He's just angry. Beams got the goal. Swan, meantime, gets it from Tuvey. Very high down towards full forward. Wonderful courage by Anthony. Got into that pack, got the ball on the ground. 3-on-1. Davis penalised. Simpson to the outer side. Stevens away.
He's got a paddock in front of him here, Stevens. Probably go inboard. He may get it back in a moment. Bauer, yep, to Stevens. Still a lot of space. Pendlebury comes up towards him. Goes to Favola. No, short of him, and Shaw able to chop in front of Yaron. Now Clark. Tuvey back to Pendlebury. Big numbers again for him today. So Beams with that 1 kick, 1 goal and 7 handballs. That one inside 50. Anthony, the go-to man. Good mark.
Well, gee, he got the push into the mark itself. Thought the kick from Beams was just an up and under, but he's pretty strong in the contest. He initiated the contact. That's a good fly. He protected the ball 2 away from Thornton.
He's a good player.
He's different, isn't he?
Yeah,
very unique.
He's hard. Yeah, he's hard to very unique, Cox. He's hard to categorise.
Yes.
He can kick a goal, and he's got a couple today late in this match. What do you think of him, Ox?
I like him. I like him because he does things different. He's not your traditional, lead-ups type of player. He plays with a fair bit of emotion. He plays angry, but he does what he needs to do. He contests. He kicks his goals that he's supposed to kick. Yeah, I like him. He's different, but I like him.
2 goals for the afternoon.
Wow.
Massive crowd, over 82,000, the 7th biggest between these 2 clubs in their storied history, and the biggest since 1995. Hasn't been the game they were hoping for, I'd say, either set of supporters. Crashing through was Simpson, off the ground by Swan. Judd couldn't control it. Simpson goes again. Stevens, Judd lurking off the pack that time. Judd, this should be dangerous. Never waste the football. Under pressure, Collingwood. Gibbs has got the footy now. Should have gone out wide. This one bounces down towards full forward. Murphy was on. Murphy won't be happy. Gibbs knows.
Not sure if you saw him. I reckon he may have been a little bit too lateral for him to pick him up. We'll give him an out.
Murphy 24 possessions. Gibbs 25. Favola knocks it down. Betts. That's got to qualify. It wasn't exactly a banana. Hasn't he shortchanged Ricky?
Oh.
He's blowing Ricky off like a schmo.
Wiped him. Absolutely wiped him. We haven't seen the celebratory effort from him yet. Close to the boundary. It was a snap on the left. Great tap work by Fev. That was a set play. They worked it out.
So 3 goals in the final term, 4 all up.
That's exactly the goal I was teaching Eddie Betts during the week. He wasn't sure how to cook the left foot snap over the shoulder, so I showed him how to do it, and there it was. But I'm very disappointed he didn't give me the sign, the big O sign.
Big O.
Surprised you can remember Roy Orbison, yeah.
I've been octagonal.
He's short to fall forward.
Oh,
Davis brought down. Lockyer, good stuff. Well done, Reed. Down low. Can't finish it off, unfortunately. And just scrambles it through for a behind. Who have you liked today, Ox?
been a couple of standouts. No doubt Chris Judd's been best on ground by about 5 minutes. Simpson's had a very good game. I thought Thornton's played the third man very well. And Presti, they often don't get any raps, the defenders, but he's done exactly what he needed to do on Brendan Favola. He kept him goalless so far, and gee, he's just done what he was asked to do. He's probably the only Collingwood player that's won his position.
Gee, Scotland's a tough cookie, and he's back out there taking the kick. Judd again did well, but Clark onto it. Centering ball to Swan. Swan's kicked to centre half forward, and here's Anthony. So Anthony and Betts having their own little private battle for goals in the final term.
This is the other thing I like about Anthony. He can be down all day, and then all of a sudden he'll finish the game with either 3 or 4 goals.
Yeah.
And you look back and you go, well, he didn't have an influence, but he's still done his fair share.
He hasn't stopped trying. He's been terrific.
So he doesn't sulk when he's down, does he?
No.
What if he makes the sign?
Good looking kick off the boot, but it went straight all the way the wrong side of the post. So he's had a few shots today. He's kicked 2-3, Anthony.
And realistically, the way he kicks the ball, that should be 5 straight, because they haven't been tough shots at all.
No.
Hampson. So Jacobs and Warnock both injured at the moment. Jacobs did well early. Warnock, of course, a bit of a prize recruit for Carlton.
I reckon he's in front of them. I like this boy. I think he's a real upshot for Carlton.
Well, maybe that might allow Cruiser to go to centre half forward at some stage.
I reckon the biggest mistake they made was that they didn't go for Mark Seaby.
Carlton?
Well, yes.
Yeah, but wouldn't they have too many? You can't have.
No, well, I wouldn't have got Warnock. I just think Seaby could give them 4 or 5 years. He certainly.
We can't get a go at the
Well,
West,
he doesn't do the
Eagles.
job. He can't work in tandem with Cox, but he's been a terrific player when Cox wasn't there. He's a good player.
And they would have got him almost like Sydney got Jolly at the same time, and Jolly's been terrific for the Swans, hasn't he?
And both those guys played on the same club side in Western Australia. Played for West Perth, my old team.
Yep.
It's interesting talking to people down there. I just think Seaby was a terrific fit for this club. Perhaps then Cruiser could have been used in so many interesting ways. Bauer comes back to Stevens. Still, that's history as the ball goes down towards the 50 now for the Blues. Getting an arm in there, O'Brien. Ball is out of bounds.
Geelong have got that issue too, with Mumford coming on the way he's come on and closing the gap on Blake. These are the Carlton's next 4 games. They've got Adelaide. Probably wouldn't mind playing Adelaide at the moment either. They're not in good form. Eagles, Brisbane Lions and St Kilda, the tough one at home.
Robinson, Judd, he deserves a goal, and he snaps it with the left foot and hits the post.
It's a little bit proppy too, Juddy.
Sometimes even perfection becomes wallpaper.
Yeah, didn't get it how he would have liked. Just looks a little bit sore.
He's done a lot of running, hasn't he? 31 disposals today. And when good grab from Nathan Brown to Tuvey. Tarkin Lockyer has tried to be as busy as he could be today. Has kicked 1 goal, goes to centre half forward, and Heath Shaw goes over the top. Poor handball. The idea was right. Well, I guess when you're 35 metres out, but Beams was running on, but it missed the target.
I don't know what's happened to Heath Shaw. He used to make really clever decisions.
Well, it was a good mark, a terrific mark.
But his execution's not there at the moment. His decision-making's not.
That was all execution, though, Ox, because Beams was going to walk in and it was a soda, wasn't it, if it hit him on the chest or just in front of him.
Good plays make that an easy, simple handball over the top.
Simpson to Waite. Gee, Waite was important early, wasn't he? I mean, he made a difference in the first 15 minutes.
Absolutely.
That handball missed the target by 4 metres.
You talked about Favola, no goals, and you gave Presti the good rap. The last time Fev didn't kick a goal and Carlton won a match was round 19, 2004.
So where's Fev going?
I think that's the most pleasing thing for Carlton supporters, that they're not heavily reliant upon one designated forward.
But they would like him to get 3 or 4, certainly in a romp like this. Here's Robinson around the outer side. Interesting. Chip. Thornton. Robinson. Thornton tracking it towards the boundary. Awkward bounce. Will it stay in? Robinson comes hard. Head down. Prestigiacomo got it out. Pendlebury on the outer side. 28 possessions for him now. Gets it back. The 29th will mean he's #1 on the ground. Takes a while. Just lobs it over the top. And it's out of bounds. Speaking of stats, on Friday night, I've got something to read here, Ox, if you don't mind. I said after round 8 last season, Buddy Franklin had kicked 24 goals. A mistake anybody who can't read could make. It was 42, actually. So 42, 24, you can see the mistake.
And look in the mirror, Dan.
Well, Josh Kay, our stats man, has been afraid to go outside since, but it was my bad. It was my mistake. Josh says he's been embarrassed only 15 more times in his life, and he did acknowledge my mistake could have been made by 83% of the population. Ball's out of bounds on the outer side.
As you were tackled, you've handball. No.
Perfectly timed, and nothing happened in the last minute and a half.
Just looking at Pendlebury's stats, he's had 29. He just had 4 in about half a minute before. Possessions are a little bit misleading at times.
For him today, I think, because he hasn't been able to penetrate. A lot of those stats in the first quarter in the back half, weren't they, when he was trying to hold things together.
Kick a goal.
That was a great pick-up by Thornton. He doesn't kick goals, Ox. Goes in forward to Yaron. It's a lovely kick. So Thornton's playing in his 136th game today. How many goals has he got, do you reckon?
I reckon he's only got a couple. He wouldn't have many. Might have what?
You're spot on too. He knows everything.
Analytical.
Well, Yaron's had a quiet little day, a little cameo.
There's Juddy coming off. They like him. They like him in the Navy den.
32 this afternoon.
He will be the recruit of the of the century, I reckon.
Gee, that was casual.
Yep. So Yaron misses. Could have finished with a couple of goals, but that one a miss.
Dan, if we had the lover meter over in the West,
yes,
where would the lover meter go when Chris Judd was put on it?
The lover meter. Who with? People of Western Australia?
Yeah.
Well, I'm not sure he's not more loved here. I don't know. It's an interesting question. He never owned the West Coast Eagles like he owns Carlton, that's for sure. It was a divided house in terms of who was their most important player.
Ben Cousins, more love there?
I always felt so.
Okay.
Here's Beams. Runs to
chase.
50. Was a good chase by Simpson. Falls in short. Brown, though. Good pressure affecting the kick. Having said that, he's not unloved in the West. Brown. From behind. Big leap out there by Simpson. Little chip comes in to Lockyer from Swan. And Lockyer will go back in the dying seconds, Bruce.
It's been a bit like that all day. The match that has died a bit through the day.
With the marks to Collingwood, 65, 124 to Carlton.
So Lockyer with the last play of the match. Carlton sitting on a 10-goal lead. Kicked it well and kicks a goal at the end for his second. So Carlton win it by plenty before more than 82,000. It was the Blues 16-8 to the Pies 7-11. So 16 goals, 804 to 7-11-53. The Blues by 51 over the Pies. What a a game Chris Judd played. He's with Ricky Olorenshaw.
That's right, Bruce. He had a super game. Just such an important win for the club. George, even with the legend now, 4 wins, 4 losses.
Yeah, it does. You know, we've been playing okay footy, but we've only won 1 from 5, so we really need to turn that round today.
He come out and really smashed them early, and he just continued all day.
Yeah, we were really emphasised at the start. We wanted to come out with all guns blazing, and yeah, look, the boys really responded today.
And your mate Dennis Kamei was really impressed with your game today. Looked like you really set yourself to have a big one in front of a big crowd.
Yeah, no, look, you can't help but get excited playing the MCG in front of this many fans. It's what you play for.
And you're taking big grabs as well.
Taking grabs, that was all happening.
And also, you might have to attend Eddie Betts' masterclass goal kicking during the week, as he might show you how to do a left foot snap at goal.
Yeah, I know. I'll get him to talk me through it during the week.
Oh, well played. Thanks, Johnny. Call you, mate.
A happy judge to Den.
Yeah.
Oh, he was so good today. Much better than most out there.
It would be ironic if his time out of the game, I'm talking about Gary Ablett, cost him a Brownlow. Here's Eddie Betts with Rick.
So I have got Eddie with me. Eddie, that masterclass we did during the week must have worked, because you wanted to kick 4 goals today.
It was pretty hard all day. Just glad to get a win, actually, yeah.
Now, I did promise the boys before the game you're going to give me a sign. What happened to that?
I just forgot. It was just in a moment. Sorry about that, Rick.
That's right, mate. You've got a chance to do it now for me. Just to prove to Dennis Committee I wasn't...
Dennis, there's the O.
The big O. There you go. Thanks, Eddie. Got you, mate.
Can I ask a question? This is a difficult question. Who's the shyest of the two of those, Eddie or Ricky?
It's not the same when you ask for it, is it?
No.
Would you mind doing the sign, the spontaneous sign?
And he did it with regret too, I reckon.
Well, it was a day that promised a lot. The Blues get the 4 points. They had some great individual stars. The irony is that Fev didn't kick a goal, and yet they won. That hasn't happened for 5 seasons. But they won big, didn't they, against the Pies, who are in a bit of a hole right now. So that's the story of Sunday afternoon at the G. Carlton 104, Collingwood 53.
That's it, boys.